I would want to present a different perspective about use of technology while you are doing these structures, because that is one specific thing which is inevitable in the present context, that we talk about different material, we talk about complexities of the projects. However, if we are not blending those deliveries with the right technology, especially in the digital era, uh, I think this summit will not be complete. So I just try to fill up the gaps on the technology side. He's too busy, right? uh, I just try to give you a context. I think two pictures you can see on the screen, I think they are very localized. Uh, Normally, it is being perceived that in India, 80+% of the structures are concrete. It's a concrete market all across. However, it's important to understand, as Dr. Ghosh also said this thing, that the use of steel is inevitable. We have to be on top of it because of its own uniqueness. And we are seeing the increased growth because we are the solution provider to various steel fabricators, various steel engineering consultants, and we see these things are growing day by day. However, the usage in terms of the extent of it is still very limited in the Indian specific organizations. I represent Trimble, and what Trimble is trying to do in terms of solution side, that we are trying to basically cover up the entire construction life cycle. I'm not talking design. Please understand, design is just a part of the overall life cycle, construction life cycle. In my following slides, I will be touch basing on some of the stuffs which are which so many times you would have heard in the recent times. However, right from the conceptual design to operation and maintenance and overall utilization and optimization of your space, how we achieve it, that's what the goal of Trimble as a solution provider we are trying to bring in. I think, fortunately, I also have a horse image here. And fortunately, that's being done on our solution. Tekla, it is a world famous software solution when it comes to the steel industry. The primary challenge, and nobody can deny that, I'm just trying to repeat and reiterate that our designs are complex. We see this Milan Mela, this thing, it's pretty complex, very diverse. Schedules and the timelines are always demanding from the client side as well as from occupant side. So the two aspects which we definitely need to find ways out is like, how do we improve our overall productivity and reduce the redundancy in our overall culture of the way we work. And that is where we spend our maximum, that is where we waste maximum of our time. And sometimes I can be very provocative. I am sitting in front of people who are our users. However, it is the fact of the matter that we definitely lack in communicating our design intents. How do we manage our information? That is still very, very manual and very rudimentary ways, the way we manage information transfer, emails, fantastic ways we still consider, but I think now the systems have changed quite a bit. And the change coordination, it is still a big challenge. Document-based approach, we are still following up. There is no denial, and I think everybody who are architects, engineers, fabricators, detailers, we are still following up. So what is the way forward? The way I see from the technology side and the kind of a development which is happening, I worked with the fantastic design solution provider called Autodesk, and now I work with the set of company which primarily provides in the construction, which is Trimble. everybody is focusing on the digital way of driving the information exchange. And that is where we see, I think this chart is very relevant. Like if you look at the overall construction life cycle and the different stages of it, right from strategic definition to concept design to technical design to commission handover in use, at every level there is a repetitive job of creation of information, which happens. Architects create something, a concept, and when it comes to the detailed stage, I don't think so that conceptual model, we use it or we reuse it. I think we try to redevelop everything from scratch. Once the architect finishes the job, when it goes to the structural engineer, nobody wants to reuse that model, which architects would have done it, or the MEP engineer would have done it. The contractors would just be depending on the set of drawings. Coordination is absolutely, though we say we coordinate it and somehow it is working, but going forward, if we continue to do it, it is the right time that we adapt to these new changes. And what this new era is going to change, that the accumulation of information which is happening at every stage, we basically try to streamline, and you can see the clear growth. That is the primary difference between a manufacturing segment and a construction segment. Steel is all about manufacturing process, right? And even the concrete nowadays needs to be on that path where the information, we call it PLM, is a very known word, product life cycle management. And here we talk about CLM as a construction life cycle management. If we want to improve our overall efficiency and productivity, then I think that single source of truth needs to be utilized at all the stages of our construction life cycle. So what I am introducing a term called constructability. How many of you have heard about BIM, B-I-M? I'm sure everybody talks about BIM. Yeah, it is necessary. It's a building information model. However, the right benefit of BIM models are not being seen in practice in India as of today. You know what is the reason? Because I have lived like both the eras, especially in the technology side. The problem is the BIM is still being catering only on the design aspect of the problem. And the person who is actually making the structure, who is executing it, for him, it is of no use today. For him, it is like, I just need the drawing, I need to execute it, why should I use it? But that is the aspect I'm talking about, that why he is unable to use the information created by a designer. Because the designer's responsibilities up till the geometric level, not at the constructability level. So let's take an example. So on the left-hand side, what you see is primarily a concept model. It's a very crude way of representing the stuff. Please excuse me for that. However, I'm just giving you, when a structural engineer, engineering responsibility is primarily up to the LOD, level of detail 300. What is that? That I will only limit my responsibility up till the geometric aspect of the design. But when it goes to construction, people are more worried about how the plates are going to be fitted, how the bolts are going to be fitted, how the welds are going to be there, where my embed plates are, how, like if it is a composite structure, concrete and steel, how the concrete embeds are going to be there, how my MEP and plant design comes, so what is the reinforcement? Reinforcement is an important part. Tell me how many architects or engineering organization have 3D rebar model in their scope of work? None. And when you give it to the contractors, because their scope of work is more, they are more worried about concrete and steel quantity. So they say, we don't have a 3D model, and we will just do it whatever the drawing comes. But that is where they are unable to utilize the power of BIM, and that is what I say, because the current set of solutions, what most of the people are using, they are limiting their capabilities of use of this LOD 400 and 500 level of detail, what I say. And this is what Trimble is trying to address through, that there are different hierarchy in the BIM pyramid, and the constructible models basically helps you. So we call them physical authors, physical model authors, then process model authors, and information users. This is the overall pyramid. That's how basically the usage of model should be. So please do not see that why should I do a 3D model, or why should I have a digital model available, not a digital drawing. Even like the drawings are digital, but now the systems are changing more towards the digital side of it, which is on the 3D concept, and this will be used all across planning, design, like construction and operation phase. I just give you a matrix which we do when we do our analysis while we are developing a product and developing the overall set of solution to the industry. How do we take it? Steel fabrication workflow, how the cost is allocated. So there are 4 processes I have written here: detailing, fabrication, logistic management, and steel erection. 4 processes with respect to steel structures. This is the study being done by various agencies. And look at this, how the cost is there. People who are doing, like, we are focusing more on detailing and design side, and see the cost implication of it. How much time do I have? Okay, right. So you can see where we are focusing more on detailing and design side, most important. However, look at the cost associated around that. However, if you look at on the other side, which is production planning, purchasing, and fabrication, it's 30 to 40% of the cost. So this 3D asset, a model which is having all the information, can create a significant amount of impact on the fabrication side, and lastly into the delivery and erections. This is a study, probably I can share this, this thing can be shared, it's there. So it very clearly says that there are 2 studies done by, this is one by AISC, another is by Steel Construction. Both of them are very, very clear that it is not about detailing and design. It is about the overall process where the money lies. If we are able to save even fraction of what we are spending, I think that is where the value of this overall system lies. So please understand this concept when companies like us say, why don't you do this thing in 3D? It's not about that it is being forced, you do detailing by this method, not required, because the real value lies. You are able to win more projects and show more value to the customers. So if you look at it on the design side, so it's whether the cost of detailing or value of model. I would call this as a value of model. Within one model, you have your byproduct, your quantity estimates, your drawings are the byproducts, your connections, sir just mentioned, the automated connections, parametric, anytime you make a change, it changes. Then you have the complete assembly line, you have linked it with your fabrication, and the overall plant is ready. So you can say it basically increases your chances of winning the project by 10% at the design stage. At the detailing stage, 70% reduction of your cost of rework. However, look at the other side of it, 80% reduction of fabrication man hours. That is where, if we want to reduce the time frame, if we want to be on time and budget, that's where it comes to the picture. And average 30% time saved on 25 time saved annually, and 25% tons of material. These are studies being conducted by various organizations all across, and this is the blended results of it. So that is why it is important when we are changing or when we are challenging ourselves to move to a different process or different material, then we choose the right intent behind it, that why it is needed. And the value of model is we can always share it with different stakeholders at the project level. So this is what the solution we talk about. Tekla, it is not a new product. Worldwide, the software is being used, but the extent now which we are taking it further, because it was initially perceived that this is a detailing specific software, but if you actually start unleashing the potential of it, it gives you at every stage. And now we have recently added a fantastic tool called Fab Suite, which is a MIS tool specifically for the fabricators, which is nicely blended together with this solution, will be a part of this. Not only this, also integrating this with the analysis and design. So it is not only modeling and detailing and fabrication, but it has a fantastic connectivity with the analysis and design, which takes care of your connections as well as your members. Direct linkage with your PLM and CNC machines, FSIP machines, there are any kind of a machine which you have, it is direct linkage with that. Now we have solutions, especially mobile applications. Same models, you don't need to be on the laptops. If you have smartphones, the same models can be transferred at any point of a time. You can actually review this. And it has got the 4D and 5D, like cost and time planning also built inside it. So you can plan your sequencing and logistics here. And we are also having a blended cloud-based platform. So anytime, anywhere, you can access this information, not necessarily need to be in office. Some examples that shows our credibility, that what basically it can give you. I'm not showing the detailing output because detailing Tekla has been used for several years for producing fantastic detailing, but I'm just showing you the extent of what is the kind of a models you can complete without. So these are sample models, pre-engineered buildings, boilers, heaters, ducting, conveyor projects, silos, some of the tallest buildings in the world, those are being done in Tekla solutions. Most of the structures you see, the entire thing being done on Tekla and the associated tools. Stadiums, exhibition centers. I saw something being shown just in one of the presentations a while ago. Right, we can do our tensile structures or any kind of a complex thing. Metro stations, an airport, light steel framing, and I'm very proud that there are two marquee project, Chenab Bridge, one of the highest altitude bridges. This is being done in Tekla. Delhi, another project is coming up, Signature Bridge in Wazirabad. Any structure is a structure as far as Trimble is concerned, irrespective of what nature it is, and it handles, whether it is concrete or steel, doesn't matter. We handle everything in the most efficient way. Miscellaneous steel works, anything you see, and these are the live projects. And we have something what we call warehouse. So if you are doing a design, if I'm doing a design, we have a warehouse. I think in India, whatever the type of solution providers who are providing steel, sections, bolts, any accessories, they are all available on our warehouse. You just connect it and start downloading it. So it's a very, very rich tool, completely integrated, overall increases your efficiency. And basically, we all work for business, and increases our chances of winning business and pushing them on within our time limits. It's a completely open tool. So if you have already invested in some kind of a tools here and there, it is still open because it accepts the data from any of the tools which you're already working on. So let Trimble be a partner with you. I'm sure we have done a lot in the steel industry, and we can continue to help evolving this in India as well. Thank you very much.